Well guys, I spent a little bit of time this morning cleaning up all my bolts. Every fastener that I took off, I went ahead and cleaned up on the with the wire wheel on my bench grinder, and I got anti-seize on everything. One more thing I'm going to show you here on these rubber bushings that hold your torsion bar and everything in place. I just put a thin coat of anti-seize on that. The reason is it's a constant grinding in there. You know, when it's constantly turning like this, so it's grinding on that bushing. I just lubricated it with some anti-seize. I wouldn't recommend that you use grease or any kind of petroleum type thing, because it's not designed to come in contact with oil. It may eat it up. I don't think that would do very well with having a petroleum based lubricant on it. So I use the anti-seize, and it keeps it from grinding against the bushing, but also it'll keep any squeaking from happening. If you look, I didn't show you when I took mine apart, but there was just a small amount of bits of this material in there, you know, just where it'd been, like I say, constantly working against it. So they weren't worn out or anything like that, but just a tip, you don't have to use it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to put it on this one. I'm also going to put it on the inner as well. Alright guys, I don't know if I showed you on the last video or not, last clip. I took, at my stock location, I made 2 dots. I made one here and I made one under it. Okay, I've turned this down 2 teeth, going by the rule of thumb that 1 tooth equals an inch. Okay, and I took my degree finder and I just confirmed that yes, I'd gone the right amount of degrees. Everything's matching up. Okay, I took and made another mark. This is my first attempt at getting my suspension the way I want it, straight up and down there. Okay, I'm going to take this back off and lubricate that inner rubber bushing there. What I did, I just took the after I got everything lubricated, made sure everything was right where I needed it to be. I took the cover plate, put it on it, and just started the bolt. Now you don't want to crank it down because you're going to pinch it, but I got this to where it's got everything started and getting it in place. Okay, now I'm going to start taking the pressure up on this, getting it loaded, and once this bolt hole is clear, I can put my last bolt in here. So what I've been doing is, after I got it pulled up using the jack and the torsion tool here, alternating just like I did when I took it off, but now I'm just putting the pressure on it, loading the torsion bar, if you will, just going back and forth with that. Got it up high enough to where I've cleared my stop, and then I started tightening this down, this cap, just rotating back and forth until I pulled that back, this torsion plate back far enough to where I can rest the arm on the stop now. After I've finished tightening all these bolts where I want them and so on and so forth, then I can release the pressure and the stop's going to hold it. Then I'm going to put everything back together, put it on the ground, look at my work before I do the other side. I want to make sure I haven't gone too far or whatever like that. You can go too far. I've heard, actually read on the internet, a guy did this, and you know, his first time out, he got so much torsion on it he couldn't see out of his back glass. So you don't want to do that. So we're going to check it out and then we'll do the other side. Okay guys, I backed up here a little bit. I decided to just go 1 tooth. When I was doing 2 teeth on that, you know, increasing the amount of tension, there's a little more left in these old torsion bars than what I thought. It was way too much tension to get everything up and in place. So I'm going to try 1 and see how that works. I'm not sure if it'll give me enough, if it'll lift up the rear end enough or not, but we're going to try it and see. Just a little tip here, while you're raising your torsion plate with your jack and your torsion tool, you'll notice I've got just a little, I want to throw this in, I put this, the vice grips, that just keeps that from sliding up. because there's a bit of an angle on it when you first start. As you're raising that up, keep tightening these bolts. Okay, that's going to let that slip in to where you can go up under your stop here. Also put this clamp on here just to help it ease that torsion plate back onto the bar as you go up. So anyway, I'm ready to I've got all my bolts, the final torque on these. Didn't use a torque spec, just a common sense torque wrench. Alright guys, I pretty much got this side buttoned up. I'm just going to tighten down the our big old hub nut here and get a cotter pin through it, and then we'll light in on the other side. Well guys, here's the finished product. It's I need to get my hubcaps back on, but you can see it's not she's not sagging in the rear end anymore, so that is a big plus for me. Most of these, like I said before, most of these buses do this. It's over the years the torsion bars just they get a little weaker, and you got to adjust that out of them. So anyway, it's kind of a big job, but it's worth doing. So anyway, thanks for tuning in.